On this episode of AutoXandTrack, we're back working on the Mustang. It's part 2 of getting this car ready to go wheel-to-wheel racing for the first time. So in part 1, we showed you guys we had a massive, well, I don't think I emphasized it enough in part 1 that the oil pan leak was massive. And so the only time this car had been on track since I redid all the suspension, it just coated the bottom of the car with oil and dirt because my friends spun off the track several times. But yeah, in that video, we got the engine and transmission back in, pan sealed up, all that stuff taken care of. So in this video, we need to clean up the underside of the car. I got all that beautiful powder coated TCI suspension on this car. I do not want it to be totally nasty, even though this is supposed to be the race car that's okay to get dirty. So we got to clean all that up. We got the Currie third member going back in, 9-inch with a true track, 350 gears. I had taken all the torque arm and cross member and that stuff, the exhaust off the car to make it easier to clean up the bottom. So we're putting the third member back in. We got to put the torque arm all back together, the cross member, the exhaust. The car is not race legal yet because it's got a non-compliant fuel cell. The previous owner only did time trials, so we put in a new fuel cell that is wheel-to-wheel legal, and this time we go with aluminum one. It's got the Holly race mat inside, so we can run this thing down to basically empty. So we're putting the fuel cell in, putting a fire system in because the old one's expired, and I think like the bottle leaked out. What else are we doing? Oh yeah, and the clutch stop. So if you remember, the reason that my friends were spinning this thing out is because we didn't have an appropriate pedal stop. So we're putting all that together. I realize now that that's probably more than we can cover in a part 2, and I don't want to extend this out to a part 3. So probably going to cut out some of the footage, maybe the fire system install or something. But let's get to the action. So unfortunately, well, that got cleaned up, although we touched it with dirty hands. I forgot that this car's still filthy underneath, so I made a mistake in not cleaning the bottom of this transmission before putting it in. That's on me, that's my bad. But look at this rack. I mean, it is filthy for a brand new build. Filthy, I say. There you can see where the fitting is I need to get on, and how close it is to the oil pan. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna clean up under here a little bit so that I don't get so filthy. Bad trailering right here while working on it. You know, the best part about powder coat is it sure is a lot easier to clean up than painted stuff. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this car not quite as disgusting underneath as it was. All right, well, it's a little more presentable. Oh, I suppose if I was anal retentive, I would take this thing apart and wash it, but that's not me. I do want it clean though. Maybe I'm a little bit, well, anal retentive. I'm definitely not that, but I do care at least enough to try and clean it reasonably well. All right, continuing with the theme of cleaning up the car, I got to do something with the rear axle. I mean, just look at this. Just disgusting. I mean, solid black from one track day. And look at this. It's gross. But I wanted to show you guys something. I had not looked that there was still oil in the bottom of this thing. And I don't know if I can get in there and show you guys, but I accidentally dipped a finger in there. And so I'm gonna put this mostly clean little plastic container in here and show you guys the sludge that is in this thing after one track day. One track day made this disgusting sludge. You can see the oil's fresh. There's a little oil line, but it's just thick and nasty. So any doubts as to whether the old center section had problems? Yeah, you just have to look at the sludge in the bottom of this thing after one use. It's gross. So I'm gonna get to cleaning under here, at least try and clean out that nasty sludge in the bottom and get ready for fresh center section. There's the untouched dirty side. Got to make sure you see that's all the way up in the cross member, panhard bar, the shocks, everything. Pinion bar on one side, and here's just a quick wipe down with a lot of paper towels. Looking just a little cleaner. Yeah, I'm gonna try tackling that stuff in there. Gross. Just sludge. Looking a lot cleaner under here now. Way better. I've got to get the inner axle seal out, which uses a aluminum sleeve with the O-rings on the outside that go into the axle tube itself. And then on the inside of the sleeve are two seals. And one of them's torn here on the passenger side. And I talked to Speedway Engineering to find out, hey, how do you guys replace these seals? Because when I tried getting a normal little T-handle tool on the seal, it was not happening. They say, hey, we punched it out from the other side. So just got back from Home Depot and bought this aluminum rod and just rounded the end with the grinder. I got aluminum instead of steel and rounded the end in the hope that I don't gouge out the inside of the axle tube and create a place for this thing to leak. So now I'm gonna get my hammer and see if we can't knock this thing out. If you can see it back there, that red thing inside the housing is the piece I need to knock out. I guess it's out. I heard it just fall in. It's way easier than I thought. Now there it is. Interestingly enough, this only looks like one seal in here, but well, yeah, you can see the double seal on the other side is tore up. I got a new kit coming in to see, oh yeah, this O-ring's got a chunk. I got new O-rings coming too. These were about the most difficult seals I have ever put in anything.
Hi, this is Mark with an important message about your automobile's...
Hey, what do you know? Mark with my extended warranty. Anyways, worst seals I've ever tried to install. Like, really difficult. I used the vise to press them in. Maybe if I had a real press, it would have been okay, but I mean, they even once you got started, they were trying to deform and not being cooperative. So anyways, you got to put grease in between the seals here. They want you to pack the inner seals with grease. And I'll probably put it some lightly on the outside here to help with the O-rings going in. And then let's see how hard it is to put this in the axle. I guess this is not a great... Oh, funny bone on the kneecap. Oh. I don't know that I'll ever use my grandpa's sockets. Certainly not some of the biggest ones on nuts, but they make good drivers for random seals. I used a different size to finish driving the seals into this thing. Now let's see if we can use it as an extension. We're ready to go. Woo! I'm gonna clean up this mating surface and bench press the rear end. One of my favorite things to do is weigh car parts. So my new to me scales, the first thing I'm weighing is this center section. This is the nodular cast iron center section. And yeah, it's heavy, 73 pounds. I was thinking, oh, I'll bench press this into place, which 73 pounds is not a lot of bench press, but to do it under the car from like here and get all lined up, it's gonna be fun. Probably doing it tomorrow, not tonight though. Anyhow, on next episode of Guess the Weight of a Car Part, what do you want to see? We're gonna find out if we can bench press much weight these days or not. I'm not gonna lie, my hands are already freaking, my arms are already tired. Come on, I got creeper is sliding on me. Well, that sucked. You know, once it's up there, you don't want it to fall on you. Probably kill me. Freaking thing. I've done a lot since that accident last year. In fact, I think the 1 year anniversary was this week. Didn't even think about it. But dang, am I proud to be able to lift that with this weak arm and shoulder. Yes! All right, I'm back. I'm gonna take a small break to clean up all the hardware, all the nuts and bolts that were covered in oil from these leaks and then sat on my garage floor for entirely too long. So I had to go take care of that first before getting back under here. Oh man, I'm so excited to be putting this on. Guys, it's been so long. This is the last major item. I mean, there's a lot to get done after this is bolted on. Got to put the torque arm in, the axles, the hubs, you know, torque arm includes the cross member. I gotta do the drive shaft. Okay, that nut is not happy. Exhaust, wheels, tires. But once I do all that, I can drop this car on the ground for the first time in a very long time. Brand spanking new housing, new pretty much everything. New true track. This thing should not make any more nasty clicking noises. And after seeing all the sludge that accumulated in one track day at the bottom of this housing, after it was spick and span clean, I'm not totally shocked that the rear end was making all those noises. It was not happy. Gotta do this one the old-fashioned way, the bottom two. Super offset 9-inch design. Here's hoping I didn't forget to do something important on the inside of this. Woo! It's in! Woohoo! Yeah, I'm excited. That's right. Might even have to just take a picture of it. Memorialize the fact that she's coming together. It's been a long time coming, but very excited to say the rear diff is in, the torque arm, the cross member, all that stuff is bolted in. So time to put fluid in it, or sorry, time to put axles in, hubs, and then fluid. See if it leaks. Quick status updates. I ended up being on the phone for a long time, but keeping busy. Axles are in, hubs are siliconed, filled the diff with fluid. The torque arm is on. It's time to put the exhaust on. So I got my dual Flowmasters over there. Gonna put the exhaust on, rear wheels on, and then I think we get to drop this car on the ground. And depending on what time it is then, I might start taking the fuel cell out. Right now, I've only got 1 gallon of gas or less in this, so it's the best time to take it out. It's just this was way too high to lift out, so it'll be a lot easier once it's on the ground. So let's keep doing this. After way too long, the rear tires are back on the Mustang. And unless I'm forgetting something, it's ready to come off jack stands for the first time in 2022. Still got quite a bit of work before this thing's ready to go on a track, but yeah, we're getting closer. And just want to show you guys a cool tip. So I bought a 10-pack of these LED light strips from Amazon and didn't use them all, at least not yet. But look at how much light. Make sure I'm gonna switch the camera upside down. Hang on a sec. Yeah, so look at how much light is under the car. I mean, you don't need a flashlight unless maybe you're doing something way up in the transmission tunnel. Don't mind my ugly exhaust and filthy car. But anyways, LED light strip. Awesome for working under the car. Hallelujah! It's on the ground. Man, it looks good, and it looks so weird. I've been staring at this thing at hip height for so long. Yeah. Tomorrow, maybe even a test drive. We last left off last night, putting the Mustang on the ground for the first time in months. Still super excited about that. Also, I'm nervous. This car has been a lot of trouble. Seems like there's always some gremlin or other haunting me. So I'm a little bit nervous to test drive it today. But before we can test drive it, we're gonna swap out the fuel cell. I did come out here this morning and look. Let's see if I can get this camera to cooperate. It's dark under there right now. But I looked and to see if there was any leaks. So far, nothing's leaking. The diff's not leaking, the radiator's not leaking, the oil pan, none of that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the trunk up and start taking that other fuel cell out. All right, I'm excited. It's in. I started hooking these hoses up. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing back together real quick because I'm running out of daylight and I want to at least try and do a test drive. So I'm gonna boogie on that and we'll be back with you guys soon. Here goes nothing. Far so good. Hey, and this time it's making fuel pressure. There's less than a gallon of gas in that fuel cell. So last time it was only getting up to about 3 psi. I guess that means we get to start it. Okay, let's see. You know what, I'm just gonna get all the way in. This time, not the approved method, by the way. Well, at least I can reach the throttle this time. Here goes nothing. We'll never start the first time. Woo! It's running! It was running. Got oil pressure. Choke, they don't like to run cold. Well, see if it'll stay running long enough to get out of the car. Want to make sure we're not leaking gas. I don't see any. No gas leak in either of those places. I don't know if that's leftover residue or a little bit of oil leaking. No fuel leaks. Nothing leaking on the ground over there. Let's check the power steering. Low, we gotta add some fluid. All right, well, it's running. Give me a minute. It's a cold, super windy morning, early morning in Sacramento, but I got a small window of time to try and drive this car before my wife leaves for work, and it's a dad-daughter day, so I don't want to spend time with my kid. But first, I'm going to try and drive this thing to the gas station and see how it runs, man. I'm super pumped. Not driven this car on the road in basically a year, over a year since I got hurt. So anyways, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Let's do it. We're driving. Definitely got an exhaust leak on the passenger side. Racing cars with license plates are awesome. Alright, we got open stoplight. Although we got police pulling out right in front of us, so we won't be doing nothing. and back in the garage working on the Mustang. So apologies, but yesterday I actually filled up the SD card on my main camera, and I didn't want to spend the time to go in the house, empty the card, so didn't get as much footage as I would have liked, but we did finish plumbing the fire system yesterday. We got 4 nozzles. You can see the back corner there. This corner here went with a little bit different angle to cover all the oil lines here. It does say in the instructions to aim for higher risk areas of ignition. So that's what I did. So that's all plumbed in. Right now the bottle is just mocked up because I want to finish some things in the car before I bolt that in. So I haven't finished actually like doing all the tie downs and P-clips and everything in there, but I've made sure everything's going to work. And you know, a lot of series, this car had a fire pull cable here accessible by the driver, but if you want to go wheel to wheel racing, course workers need to be able to access the fire pole and the electrical cutoff, which is here. So I added this fire pole here that, you know, I didn't want to like come up through in front of the windshield like they do on some cars. I didn't want it sticking out past the plane of the car, and this was an easy way to do it, tying into an existing hole here and easy to pull. So I'm happy how that's all come out. And now we're gonna start work. Oh yeah, and you can see the nozzle here, one pointed down at the feet, one pointed at the waist. Instructions in the engine say for the engine bay you need to have the nozzle supported. You can't let it free hang. But for the passenger compartment, it just says to have the tubing behind the nozzle supported within the first 3 or 4 inches. So that's what we've done here. My plan though for a pedal stop is I plan to move these pedals back towards the wall at some point when I have more time. And they're right now so far away from the wall, you can't just do a simple like stop in the floor pan or firewall. It's too far away from that. You also can't really build anything that's not going to be totally unsightly and gangly that is going to be able to reach the wall. So my plan is to take advantage of the mounting bolts for the Willwood setup here. I've got some pretty thick heavy duty steel, angle iron steel, and I'm just going to cut 2 pieces of it and we'll bolt it down there, and then we'll weld onto the backside another piece that comes on behind this pedal and put an adjustable stop in there. And so I'm hoping with some simple angle iron, and I was checking out at the hardware store yesterday different solutions for the actual stop part, and instead of just doing like a bolt or all thread, they had some leveling feet there that were actually 3/8 of an inch bolt, and with a big nice pad that'll help, you know, rubber and everything, that'll help soften the blow when the clutch hits that. Also, you know, if the pedal were to waver at any point, or I got the measurements imprecise, it'll take up some of that. So let's get to it. All right, well, this is kind of what I'm envisioning. I just put up this lightweight aluminum angle bar to just check kind of where things are at and try to remeasure the throw on the pedal one more time and see where we end up. But you can kind of see what I'm going for here. So yeah, let's see if I can measure this. It's not going to be precise, I know that, no way, but I'm hoping that it'll still kind of let me. already. I don't care anymore, I just want this done. This attempted pedal stop is not going to win any beauty contests. Probably wouldn't pass structural testing, but there it is. All right, here is the finished product of the pedal stop. So yeah, it's got some booger welds. Let's hold this further away. But use a furniture leveler as the adjustable actual pedal stop here. And then this bolts in using the existing bolts for the Willwood hanging pedal system. This was just built with some scrap angle iron, some of this rectangular tubing. Again, don't look too close at the welds. I borrowed a welder from my neighbor to do this. And some of them are ugly. Forgot to turn the gas on one of the times. You know, newbie welding stuff. Ideally, I would have put spacers that are the same length as the inside diameter here to keep this from crushing, but this has actually already been in the car before I painted it for testing and works fine this way, so I'm not going to bother. So there it is. And the pedal stop installed for the hydraulic clutch. That's what it looks like. And totally adjustable. All right, I think this video's gotten long enough. If you like longer videos, let me know. But for this one, we're ending it off here. And in the next video, we're going to Willow Springs, wheel-to-wheel racing with Vara. Can't wait to show it to you. Thanks for watching. That's a wrap.